Instrumental albums are always kind of difficult to talk about. For one, you can never really tell what a band's platform is, considering there's no vocals to go along with the music that accompanies it. However, a lot can be painted just by instrumentals alone. It's the reason why the instrumental is such a keynote and important aspect of music. It's the reason also why so many bands, rock bands, metal bands, heck, even rap and country artists, use instrumentals in order to kind of paint a picture that really didn't need lyrics in order to tell the story. However, for Scale the Summit, this is something that is their entirety of their catalog. They are an instrumental band, a instrumental metal band that really, in my opinion, seems to feel and sound like some sort of space pioneers. Now, the album that we're talking about is The Migration here, and migration is a very good term in order for this album because it almost feels like they are picked up and decided to flee the planet, perhaps from destruction, perhaps from some sort of imminent disaster. And they are traveling through space and journeying to different planets to search for an inhabitable life or an inhabitable place where they can call home. Whether or not this is truly what the band means to accomplish through this, unfortunately, I couldn't tell you. Instead, I'm just using the power of my imagination. I really enjoy the fluent guitar work in this album, and I really like the fact that there are some portions that seem to overlap a little bit, almost as though this album is following a centralized theme, and basically the 10 tracks that are presented are merely just there to sort of divide each individual idea for the greater composition. And this is something that actually makes this album flow very nicely as well. Now, instrumental albums can become very, very tedious for a lot of people, for a lot of different reasons. For one, a lot of people like to have something that they can either post to their Facebook wall or retweet or something like that. Something that they can, something witty that somebody else said that they can say to somebody else and sound intelligent. Either that or something that just makes them laugh or makes them think or cry or whatever it might be. The difficulty also is in the fact that the emotion that is poured through an instrumental album can sometimes become overwhelming to the point where if you reach a particular location or time in the album that is certainly beautiful to you, it may be difficult in order to move onward, leaving that part behind. With this album, I like the nice balance that is here of just virtual shredding, where it's just seemingly out of control and, going very, very tight and really showcasing the proficiency to the calmer moments, the moments that really kind of just take a breather and give the listener a chance to relax while kind of bracing themselves for the next oncoming storm. There's a lot of great moments in this on the first half of this record that flows expertly into the second part, which really gives it a real nice sense of balance also. And I also like the fact that this is not an album that's separated into movements of kind of equal parts, as opposed to some places that may just take a 60-minute composition and break it into 10-minute movements or something like that. Voyage 34 sometimes can be compared to as one that kind of followed this formula, but I disagree because I think that each movement has its own individuality to it, and that's by Porcupine Tree. Instead, this is one where the shortest composition is 31 seconds and almost serves as an introduction to the last track, The Traveler, and the longest composition is actually The Traveler, the 6-minute-long finale. So this is almost something where this was required in order to kind of break the ideas apart, in order to really drive the point home. Overall, this is a really nice album to listen to, especially when traveling. So really, it's kind of a nice allegory for migration or travel to begin with, something that you would put onto the in your car or something like that, or while taking a walk or whatever it may be, in order to kind of keep the time passing, not to mention also giving you something awesome to listen to while you're engaged in the activity. I really like this album. There's definitely been a lot of hype surrounding it. I definitely hope the band appreciates my analogy about space travel or just travel in general, because that's definitely the theme that I'm feeling a lot with this record. And if I'm wrong, I apologize. I really like this. I really like this album. I really like what you guys have done, and it's definitely something where I need to dive back into your discography again one more time, just to kind of reminisce with all the other albums that you've done. Overall, I give this an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed this. Like I said, instrumental music can sometimes be very difficult for some people to get through. I actually like this. This was a nice breather from the 24 hours of reviewing, where there's been anger, there's been lusciousness, there's been this, there's been that, there's been emotion. I'm tired, but not really. I'll see you guys next time.